Hello, everybody. I wanted to just come on here to the live event and pop in just to see how you're all doing. I know that a bunch of people are filing in already, and I wanted to make sure that I said hello and chatted with you guys first and foremost before we have the opportunity to kick things off. Tonight's going to be pretty jam-packed with information, and I say that in the most amazing way because you're going to learn a ton. I love doing this masterclass. It is just such a it's just something I think that women need to hear, frankly. So you're going to be hearing everything from my personal experience to my professional experience in this field. You might even see my dog walk in during this little intro. Fingers crossed that he doesn't bark if, I don't know, somebody walks down the hallway. He normally does. He's pretty good. Anyways, I'm actually speaking to you live here in Toronto, and I am curious to know where you guys are actually, watching in from. So if you could let me know, where are you watching in from right now? That would be awesome. Toronto is the city that I've lived in for quite some time, but I do travel all over. So I'm not only ever stationed here. So we have Ginny from Calgary, Canada, which is awesome. Long Island, New York in the house. California, Guelph, Gatineau, oh my goodness, Orange County, California, South Texas, Connecticut. We got lots of people from the U.S. Love the States, lots of places I end up going to and working from there. I'm kind of I am an online entrepreneur, so I'm really all the time, I'm usually all over the place. So, okay, Toronto, well, Ajax, shout out to the suburbs, awesome. Stockholm. So wow, we've got quite the group, which is fantastic. And we are going to be kicking things off in about 7 minutes. So I just want to let you know that that things are going to be happening very shortly. Oregon, California, amazing. I always think it's so fantastic that I'm just honestly so blessed to be able to speak to people from everywhere. Newfoundland, we got quite a few Newfies in the house, which is great. Vanessa and Janice are Newfies in the house today. Las Vegas, Nevada, Sarah, which is great. Hello, there's Jules. So wonderful. I'm probably going to end up seeing some familiar names here, which I always love. We've got Quebec, and Nia, the Netherlands. How cool is that? Really, really amazing. I'm always so amazed where everyone's coming in from. So the other thing I'd really like to know a bit about you before we kick things off in about 6 minutes is, what is the main thing you struggle with? What is the main hormonal issue? Like, what brought you here today? What is it that, you are struggling with? Is it endo? Is it, ovarian cysts? Are you like full blown into menopause? What's going on? Oh my goodness, we got someone from Germany as well. Windsor, Ontario, New York. Okay, so we've got PCOS. So that tends to be quite a few women who have PCOS. I work with a lot of women who've got polycystic ovarian syndrome, for those of you guys who don't know what PCOS stands for. Fibroids, quite a few people. Infertility, PCOS, endo and ovarian cysts. So lots of PCOS, which again, is just huge. And the reason why is because the definition of what PCOS just keeps broadening and broadening and broadening, because we're starting to see so many different forms of it. I definitely do in practice. So fibroid, low progesterone, trying to conceive, irregular periods, hormone imbalance, says Melissa. What kind of hormone imbalance? Hypothyroidism. We've got North Carolina in the house. Hickory, North Carolina. You're just going to probably make fun of my really poor attempt of trying to have a Southern accent. But I like doing accents. I'm just not the greatest at them. Depression and endo, ovarian cysts, anxiety and depression becomes horrible during times of my cycle, for sure. Hormones are definitely fluctuating quite a bit. And what you guys are going to learn today is that it really comes down to a very holistic approach. That is going to be a huge takeaway. People quite often come to me and say, what pill can I take for my PMS? Or what pill can I take for my fibroids? Like, Melissa, what pill? And the thing I always say to them is, like, there's really no magic pill. And man, I wish there was, because I could help just so many other women, you know, but the reality is that if you are willing to, you know, go all in, do the work, and it's not even so much work as it is self-discovery, or as a yoga teacher once said to me, it's almost like remembering who we are and remembering, you know, deep down on a soul level who we are. And there's just so many things that we can do. And that's not trying to get all woo-woo on you guys, because clearly there's a lot of scientific stuff that we're going to be speaking about. If you guys don't know, I don't just have a background in nutrition, but also I studied Chinese medicine as well. So you're going to get a lot of East meets West kind of approach. And we are going to be kicking things off in about 3 minutes, guys. So we've got hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, very high testosterone, very, very irregular absent periods. Lots that can be done for that. And it's interesting because hypothyroidism and that other profile that you're talking about kind of sounds a little bit like PCOS. I'm not going to lie. Believe it or not, you actually know that you can have PCOS and not have cysts. Kind of crazy. Adenomyosis, we've got hair loss. Adenomyosis, you know, as always, there's like a subset of women who have it and like, are you going to talk about this? And I will be speaking about it. And it's interesting because it doesn't get covered all that often, but definitely going to be running through that as well. Very painful period, says Sam. Saskia, if I'm saying that right, says Hashimoto's as well. So a lot of y'all have this, and I totally get it. I totally get it. And I know that you're in a lot of pain, and I'm so glad that you've actually taken the time to come here. So first and foremost, I want to be able to thank you for that. Adult acne, says Monica, and very low energy. You know, I can probably say most women I speak to in practice are just like, I got no energy, Melissa. What do I do? And it's amazing when you just start to just shift things. You know, whether it's digestion, which always has a piece in hormonal issues, balancing those hormones, changing up the diet, adding in key supplements, working on so many other parts. And you just start to see women, well, I've seen women just walk out and I'm like, who the heck are you? You are not the same person who came into this program that I remember, which to me is phenomenal, you know? Anna says, ugh, crazy hair loss and unbelievable fatigue. Yeah, tired, and I hear people with hair loss, big thing. Oh, Leslie says weight gain with perimenopause. Also a big one as well, because, you know, our hormones shift dramatically when we go into perimenopause. So 1 minute, we're going to be kicking things off. I'm pretty excited about that, guys. I don't know about you guys. But just going to double check to make sure that we are all good to go. I think we are. So just making sure all my setup is okay here. And I'm so excited. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited to listen to all this amazing info? Are you? Are you? Because I am. All right, let's kick things off, guys. Are you ready? If so, let's do this. Okay, so let's jump right into the masterclass that we are going to do right now. All right, guys, here we go. I'm thrilled. Let's get this party started. Just going to sort of move my cursor out of the way so you guys don't see that. But really, I am truthfully all about helping to empower you as much as humanly possible, because that truly is my jam. So today, I'm going to show you guys how to get empowered. And truthfully, the first thing that I want to be able to chat with you guys about is really what we're going to be going through. And here we go. Cramps, bloating, anger, and the blues. How to stop letting PMS and PMDD rule your world. Man, I know a lot of you guys struggle with this. I could already see from some of the comments that we have that a lot of you guys have struggled with this. Anna's already saying absolutely ready for this jam. So am I. We're also going to be covering natural remedies for PCOS, ovarian cysts, fibroids, endometriosis, and adenomyosis. So all you ladies who are listening in who suffer from any of those conditions, I've grouped them for a reason. So we are going to be going through that as well. How to control heavy bleeding and even gain some regularity with an out-of-whack cycle. What do you do? Anybody here suffer from heavy bleeding whatsoever? I know that that was something that I had gone through as well, and we'll be talking about that in a second. And yes, if you're trying to get pregnant, ladies, there is hope. So I want you to know that first and foremost, there is hope. Hot flashes, irregular periods, low libido, vaginal dryness, and hysterectomy, solutions for perimenopause and menopause. A lot of the times, when women come onto my masterclass, they're like, I don't know if this is really for me, because the ages range so much. But the reality is we're covering women from PMS right through menopause. So I'm going to be going through quite a bit. Fatigue, insomnia, and stubborn weight gain. How to get your power back from adrenal fatigue and thyroid issues, especially if you're like, oh my God, Melissa, I am so tired. I am so tired. Going to be going through that because I've, again, grouped adrenal fatigue and thyroid issues in one, and there's a reason for that. The number one area, though, that's often overlooked by women and practitioners, we're also going to be going through that. I know that this is sort of like a big, what is it? But it is one area that after I had gone through my own personal struggle, after seeing thousands of patients, that I've seen through my practice, I keep seeing the same darn thing getting missed. And I'm like, man, you guys are missing something. So I am going to be telling you guys. So yes, got to love you some suspense, right? So first and foremost, who am I and why am I qualified to be telling you this? My name is Melissa Ramos, if you haven't met me already. I'm a nutritionist with a background in Chinese medicine, and I'm also the owner of Sexy Food Therapy. And I help women feel sexy from the inside out, and I love helping women balance their hormones, empower them, and I'm also known as the poop whisperer as well. But I want to give you a little background about me. I got my period when I was 13 years old. Now, that isn't something that's, out of the norm, but what happened was within 1 hour, I was wearing a super absorbency plus tampon and an overnight maxi. I was soaking through them in an hour. Okay. This is not normal. In fact, I'd set an alarm in the middle of the night so I didn't soil the sheets. My periods debilitated me, completely debilitated me. I had terrible anxiety. I also struggled with, when I was 26, I was diagnosed with PCOS, which is known as polycystic ovarian syndrome, okay? And this is something that going from a really, really hard time, bleeding so heavily, then having horrible PMS, then being told that we can't even see how many cysts you got because they just look like grapes. Like we can't even count them. 4 years later, an ovarian cyst actually ruptured on my right ovary. It actually tore off a piece of my right ovary. They did save it, but it tore off a piece of my right ovary, and I was sent to hospital. And as you can see, these are pictures of me here. I'm always trying to find humor in life because it's the way that I cope. So that's why I'm smiling here. But I was left with 24 staples after they took out almost 3 liters of blood from me. I had a blood transfusion. I had an epidural. I was in hospital for almost 2 weeks, and I had months of rehabilitation. So if you're listening in and you've been suffering, believe me when I can say that I understand what it feels like to feel pain. I was also diagnosed with fibroids 2 years later, and believe it or not, I found out by accident. And I found out by accident because when they asked me if I wanted the report, I just said, yeah, sure. And I took the report, stuffed it in my purse, didn't look at it until the next day, and then realized that I had fibroids that they didn't even tell me, a subserosal and an intramural. So always get a copy of your lab reports, just a side note. So professionally, I'm all over the media. I've done a TED Talk as a poop whisperer herself. I am a health expert on a live-to-air show here in Canada called The Social, and I've also been on The Doctors in the US. But the thing is, I was overworked. I love what I do, but I was so overworked and the pressure began to mount because of the fact that I started to get so much all at once and things began to climb. I mean, it's a great problem to have when things are going really well, but I was seriously overworked. I eat healthy food, but I would stress eat. I don't know how many of you guys stress eat. Like, you know, having nuts is good or dark chocolate is good, but not when you eat an entire bowl of it. And that's what I was doing. And I gave to literally everybody else except for myself. I'm pretty sure that we've got a lot of givers and nurturers in this masterclass today. I tried eating less. I tried exercising harder. But my weight, it continued to climb, which was really, really crappy. I ended up gaining 25 pounds. And I know that this photo, you might look at it and go, please, you don't look like you're overweight. And I'm not telling you right now that, hey, oh my God, this picture, I am fat. I am not saying that in the slightest bit. I am saying that I think every single one of us ladies have been at a point in our lives where we have just not felt comfortable in our own body. And that's where I was. And given that I am literally, you know, always in front of the camera, whether it's for my newsletter videos or in the media of some sort, there's a lot more pressure. And it just was bothering me so much. And I just couldn't lose the weight. It kept gaining. I felt like a fraud. My libido, non-existent. Honestly, it was super, super, super challenging. But I found an answer. I found an answer, and I really want to be able to share it with you. And before I do, I have to let you know that, remember this before picture? I was heavy, and I was heavier, and the weight was climbing. Well, 2 months later, 20 pounds later, muscle tone develops. 1 month after that, 5 pounds dropped, increased strength, energy, and muscle tone. This literally all happened within the span of about 3 months. And that libido I was telling you about, hello, it was back. So this is something that I am so passionate about talking about it because I'm telling you that there is hope. I really, truly got my life back. So everything I learned about hormones is exactly what I'm going to show you. Are you guys ready? Are you ready right now? If you are, tell me you're ready right now in the chat box. I would love to be able to hear some excitement in the room because I like things to get just downright amazing. So let me know right now. Are you guys ready? Okay, we're getting a bunch of people saying, I'm ready. Awesome. Addie, Angeli, Chelsea, Addie. Awesome. All right, let's do this. Oh, and before I dive in any further, know this. I'll be giving a bonus gift to everyone who stays until the end. Here is the dealio with that. We have this fancy dancy little system. Amazing little system. And I know who stays and who goes. So if you go before then, you will not receive the bonus gift. Okay? So just remember that. If you don't stay to the end, you won't get the bonus gift. The other thing I just want to remind you guys, if you have a question, I try to answer everyone's questions as much as possible during, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So make sure that you just write it down and then I can definitely answer it at the end. All right. Let's do this. Cramps, bloating, anger, and the blues. How to stop letting PMS and PMDD rule your world. So how you treat yourself prior to your period is an indicator for how bad your PMS and PMDD will be. This is the absolute truth. So if you, say, for example, took something like a day, a month, a day or a week prior, you really have to give it a little bit of time. So remember that. Some of our biggest offenders are alcohol. Ladies, for those of you guys who love your vino, it's another offender. And I will tell you, premenstrual breast pain is associated with the liver, according to Chinese medicine. So if you are somebody who has just really painful breasts every single month prior to your period, liver, liver, and more liver. And that is something that we do definitely address, when I work with women. Bread, rice, pasta, sugary sweets. I know this is stuff that's just so easy on the go, easy to grab it, but the problem is it just causes insult to harm. These foods actually break down into simple sugars, creating an imbalanced blood sugar, leading to increased food cravings, particularly sugar. So you eat these starchy carbs and guess what? You're just starts to crave some more. Absolutely. Foods which break down into sugar ends up congesting the liver, and it prevents it from excreting estrogen. So we always thought that the liver, at least some people think that fat is what congests the liver. It's not. It's the sugar and the excess starches really are the biggest offenders. You really want to decrease your complex carbs and increase your vegetable count to at least 50% of your plate or more. So if you are somebody who's got a super carb, heavy diet, this is something that I want you to seriously consider, because this could actually make a huge difference, okay? And I know that we're kind of giving little tidbits, but I'm going to be giving tidbits and tools throughout this entire masterclass. The other thing that I want to be able to bring up with you, coffee. I know. I really love my coffee. I only have 1 cup of coffee a day, Melissa. Tell me I can't just not have that. I get it. I know that this is a really hard thing. I'm part Brazilian, so it literally flows through my veins, and I love it. And do I drink coffee? Yes, but I only actually have it on the weekends. And you might think that that's totally crazy and impossible, but it is possible. You see, coffee robs the body of mood stabilizing and muscle relaxing nutrients. So, which would actually explain cramps, back pain, and grinding teeth if you do so. Now you might be like, well, what about decaf? Which is a great question. But the thing is, decaf still actually robs the body of those mood stabilizing, muscle relaxing nutrients. So you could still be grinding your teeth, and it actually still has a little bit of caffeine in it, but it still does rob that. And it changes our intestinal flora as well. So those are things to be able to know. So I don't want to leave you high and dry. So if you guys can, pull out your iPhones, maybe take a screen grab of this, whatever you want to do, write this recipe down. But I absolutely love my breakfast hot matcha smoothie. Now, know that there is cayenne in this. You don't have to add the cayenne powder in there. I like it because it gives it a little bit of kick, but I like things hot. You don't have to do it. But I do want to let you know that the breakfast hot matcha smoothie is amazing. It does have a little bit of caffeine in it because there's matcha, which is powdered green tea. Amazing. It has very rich in L-theanine, which is the, essentially it is an amino acid that is, just call it the chill amino acid. It helps just you to chill out. It doesn't mean it sedates you. Gives you that nice, good caffeinated feeling, but nothing that's going to be too jolting. Okay. So check out what Shonda had to say, because I know that you guys might be a bit skeptical, but she said, my cravings during that time of the month were out of control. After working with Melissa and changing my diet, adding key supplements, and really practicing self-care, my PMS was not only non-existent, but I also didn't find myself stress eating. While I may have been skeptical before, I am absolutely a believer that we don't have to suffer every month. And this is so absolutely true, because we're conditioned to believe that you have to suffer, that every month you are destined to suffer. You actually don't have to suffer every single month. One of the things I would like to suggest to you here is a good B complex. Not the one from Costco, a good B complex. All right, so Thorne and AOR have a formula which has their B vitamins in their active methylated forms. And this is really important. So then that way we can make sure that the liver is doing its job with detoxification, and that can help to excrete a lot of those excess estrogens that could also be promoting some of those really bad PMS pains. PMS mood is generally from a deficiency from vitamin B6, our mood regulating vitamin B6. So it contains that. Birth control, antibiotics, antidepressants also rob the body of mood regulating vitamin B6. So if you've been on any of those types of medications, you are going to need a B complex. Women with low levels of vitamin B1 struggle producing a neurotransmitter called GABA, which reduces anxiety. Okay, so really important to add this. And you might be like, well, how? You have to understand that B vitamins really do help with liver detoxification. And what you would do is you'd end up taking 1 capsule at breakfast and at lunch. Just never, ever, ever take a B complex away from food. Because if you do, you're going to get nauseous. So just a little heads up, okay? Magnesium bisglycinate. It's the most bioavailable form of magnesium that there is, hands down. It positively influences anxiety and depression symptoms, along with nausea and constipation. So any of you ladies here who are constipated and just relying on coffee to get you going in the morning, not exactly the best solution, because even though it helps you poop, you're also losing a lot of friendly bacteria when you were drinking coffee and relying on it for that. So magnesium is going to be something that's going to be really great. In an earlier study that involved 192 women taking 400 milligrams of magnesium daily for PMS, 95% experienced less breast pain and had less weight gain, okay? 89% of suffered less nervous tension and 43% had fewer headaches. Directions: take 1 200 milligram capsule at lunch and at dinner. Are you bloated? Any of y'all feel bloated during your periods? Well, increase your water to 2 liters of water daily, and its intake, it's really, really crucial to help to flush out excess water. Believe it or not, water will help flush out excess water. It's that simple. Hydrating will also help to address PMS migraines and aid with breast tenderness. Okay, so water, 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 really important. If you're not getting your 2 liters in, please do make sure that it's not cold water. Cold water actually hampers the digestive system, so you're going to want to make sure that it is room temperature, okay, or as close to as possible. Maybe slightly cool, but just not cold. A diet review in the medical journal from Mars showed that women suffering from PMS followed diets that were 275% higher in refined sugar. They also had 79% higher in dairy products. Also, 77% lower in magnesium. They were also 63% higher eating refined carbohydrates and 53% lower in iron. 52% lower in zinc. So we start to see this cascade, and this is generally the average woman who's got really bad PMS. This is what their diet essentially is looking like. Too much sugar, dairy, lowered magnesium, lots of refined carbohydrates, low iron, low zinc, and they're suffering. So, when we look at something like this, we're looking at how do we replenish, and we have to also make sure that you guys are feeling pumped about your food, which is the reason why Sexy Lady Balls actually, which is my hormone membership program, actually offers 1 live cooking class each month. And this is a hormone membership program that I absolutely adore, and it's where I spend pretty much most of my time helping facilitate, this amazing group of women. And doing these cooking classes is so much fun because at least that way I can help to show you guys things like, how to make actual bread that you can eat and not feel guilty about. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Okay. How to make desserts you're not going to feel guilty about eating and that your kids, you'll have to hide from your kids. And a way that you can actually interact with me and ask questions is just such a cool feature that I'm just so pumped about. So if you don't believe me about this whole PMS thing, check out what Morgan had to say. She says, you guys, I just started my period, and for the first time ever, there was no crazy PMS, breast swelling and tenderness, bloating, extreme hunger, etc., and no cramps. And it was light. And what I would imagine what normal period would look like. So stoked. So that is a really amazing thing. And I see this consistently where women go, the best thing is they always say, I didn't even know I was going to get it. Wouldn't you love that if you're struggling with that and this has been your struggle for a while? The reality check, birth control and the adverse side effects. I need to dive into this because a lot of women I see are taking birth control. It damages the gut bacteria, which can then increase stress, weight, and reduces estrogen clearance. It creates also pituitary insensitivity. Although this is more common with Depo-Provera, and if you're wondering what the pituitary is, essentially it is a gland that's in your brain, and it's essentially like the puppet master, and it essentially signals ovulation and when you get your period. So when there's pituitary insensitivity, it's a lot of women when they get off the birth control pill, sometimes they don't have a period for a while. Reduces liver clearance due to estrogen buildup if taken over a long period of time. I've seen women who've taken it over a decade. Have you taken it over a decade? If you have, please let me know in the comments. Synthetic estrogen also reduces thyroid function. A lot of people don't know this, but this is one of the adverse effects of this. Nutrient deficiencies created: zinc, B vitamins, magnesium, selenium, vitamin E, and vitamin C. So these are all nutrients that are depleted. So you wonder why, why am I feeling bad all of a sudden? It's like, you're not feeling bad all of a sudden. It's that you've been actually getting there for a while. These deficiencies take time, but they're created. Okay. So you might be like, I'm taking the copper IUD. I mean, that's okay, right? Non-hormonal IUD effects. This can lead to inflammation during the menstrual cycle, making cramping and blood flow worse. It reduces liver clearance due to estrogen buildup if taken over a long period of time. The other thing is copper toxicity can actually occur. And that by comparison can decrease zinc levels in the body. So quite often when I see women on the IUD, I'm like, you know what, we really got to look at your zinc levels. And there's actually ways that we can do that are cheap and cheerful. Also, deficiency in zinc, you can get a lowered immune response, anxiety, decreased stomach acid. So when you eat, you might bloat right after you eat or half an hour within eating. Your wounds, if you cut yourself, for example, might heal slowly. Those are all really big ones. Louise says, I remember on the pill, total depression for a year. Now I know why. For sure, because you're just losing that vitamin B6. Rebecca even says on and off for 20 years. And Venice says over a decade. And I've got some people who've commented saying, yeah, well, my doctor said it was okay. Which to me is that's so unfortunate. You also get hair loss, PMS, extreme fatigue, sugar cravings with zinc deficiency. So you might be asking, what is a natural and effective alternative other than the condom? It's the reason why I bring in experts. So I have this expert interview from the Red 10 Sisters. They're amazing. They provide solutions to a natural and highly effective alternative. In fact, when I say highly effective, I mean like 95, I think it's even more, 95 to 98% effective. And having expert interviews is something that I'd love to have in Sexy Lady Balls because of the fact that we just get so much information from different people coming in. And this is one that I absolutely adore because it's in your best interest to empower yourself. If I empower you, you empower everybody else around you. And honestly, that's actually a statistic. That when you actually empower one woman, the magic that she can create is phenomenal. So, what if you're using the pill to regulate your period? What happens then? So, struggling to regulate your period naturally, it's possible. This is what Lisa had to say. She says, it's an SLB miracle. Today I got my period. And this is the first period I've had naturally in about 10 years. Before now, I was either on the pill or taking prescription medication to ovulate or to menstruate. I've only been on the transition from the pill protocol for 1 month and was honestly not expecting a period for at least a few months. But this one snuck up and surprised me today. Didn't even notice any PMS prior. I am so happy to see that all my efforts are starting to pay off. Thank you, Melissa, for everything you do for us ballers. Your program really has changed my life for the better. And thank you to all my fellow ballers for your support and inspiration and kept me going through the tough days. I'm really so excited. I think this is going to be, I'm going to have a dance party with myself. So amazing. Is it possible that you can regulate your period without the pill? Yes. Is it possible that you can prevent getting pregnant without the pill? Yes. You just have to educate yourself and empower yourself a bit. And that's definitely something that I provide. So let's go on to natural remedies for PCOS, ovarian cysts, fibroids, endometriosis, and adenomyosis. There is hope. And I know that many of you guys feel super discouraged in the category. So what do all these things have in common? All these conditions, I'll tell you this much right now, they are estrogen-related conditions, all of them. And they require subsequent progesterone support. Okay? Incredibly important. Other symptoms include bad PMS, which we just spoke about. So alternating between the blues, like, oh my God, everything is so horrible, to irritability and snapping. It's like, road rage, or what do you mean? Do you think I look fat in this? So those extremes, okay? And that's where you might feel like, oh my goodness, am I crazy? Big time. Heavy bleeding also can be a sign of excess estrogen and not enough progesterone as well. That's also a sign. And breast tenderness and fibrocystic breasts. Any of you ladies here suffer from that at all? I know that is something that is super common that I know I've helped a lot of women with. And headaches, especially before your period. These are all estrogen-related conditions that could have that subsequent progesterone issue as well. Decreased libido, that one word for it is Netflix, because you'd rather be watching marathons on Netflix than having sex with your partner. Ladies, be honest. And also junk in the trunk. You seem to gain weight, and it's all in your bum, in your hips, and your thighs. Estrogen, 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 estrogen. That's where estrogen loves to sit. Okay? And in some cases of PCOS, we're not only seeing elevated levels of estrogen, but also testosterone. Okay? Also testosterone. The vicious cycle. So you're super stressed. You're like, get me some carbs, right? All of a sudden, you start to increase your insulin. Your insulin is your fat storage hormone, and it pumps when you get this surge of carbs. It decreases something called sex hormone binding globulin. And what that is that essentially is just a fancy word for a protein that would otherwise bind to estrogen and testosterone so that you can, get it out of the body through your fecal matter. But the problem is when you have decreased levels of this protein, it can't bind to testosterone and estrogen. So what happens is you get this increase of testosterone and estrogen. Okay? So that begins to happen. And that's when we start to see an ovulation. So women aren't ovulating. They start to get hirsutism, which is, the facial hair, infertility as well. And, we see insulin resistance, weight gain, abdominal obesity, and it begins to create this absolute vicious cycle. And that essentially is what is happening with a lot of women, are PCOS babes who are the curvier mamas in the house. And they're really struggling with their weight. And there's this really vicious cycle that ends up happening that needs to be addressed. And it isn't just from a one-shot magic pill. It's an overall approach. Believe it or not, you can gain 30 pounds in a year from a daily dairy allergy or intolerance. Now, that might not seem like a lot because it's over the course of 12 months. But for real, do you want to look back at this year and be like, oh my God, I can't even believe I gained 30 pounds? 70% of humans are even unable to drink milk past infancy. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to look back in the year and go, oh my God, I gained 30 pounds over the course of this year. Like, that would just absolutely not sit well with me. Okay? So one of the things I want to suggest to you is to incorporate inositol powder. Inositol powder is an incredible powder that definitely for women who've got these estrogen-related conditions, especially nervous system issues, because it relaxes the nerves. It also helps to lower excess estrogen and testosterone. So women with PCOS, all those conditions I mentioned off the top, especially if there is a congested liver, maybe you've been told that you have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or there's any form of liver congestion, or your liver enzymes are elevated. If you've been told that by your doctor at all, this is also great. It also addresses estrogen-related anxiety. Yeah, you heard me right. So you might be like, wait, are you telling me my anxiety could be estrogen-related? Yeah, I am. It definitely can be. Okay? Directions is take half a teaspoon at breakfast and dinner and slowly build up to 1 tablespoon. And you can mix this in water. You can mix it in a smoothie. it shouldn't go into any hot drinks at all. Only just, room temperature or cooler type drinks is what I would suggest. You want to make sure that you always take this in and around that time with food. And the reason why is because inositol actually is a part of the B vitamin family. Okay, so that's just something I want to be able to flag to you. Check out what Suha had to say, and I love the testimonial. So skin clear and labs are normal. What PCOS? She goes, I have something to share with y'all. I'm sitting in the parking lot of my endocrinologist's office with a huge grin on my face. Here's the thing. When I joined the group, I was taking metformin and spironolactone. I have PCOS. I was bloated. My skin was wonky. I was always tired. All the shitty symptoms of PCOS. I had it. I cut my doses in half and slowly started to introduce the supplements to my body. I am now on the lowest dose of meds. I was curious how my labs would look because I feel so good, but I was also scared he would know that I didn't take what he had prescribed to me. Drum roll, please. He said my labs looked normal. He said that if he didn't know I had PCOS and he looked at me and my labs, he would never know I had it. He was just so impressed with how I looked overall and complimented me on how clear my skin looked. Ladies, you are in the right place. I am a firm believer that it is not taking the supplements like Melissa says. It's reducing stress. Drink more water, sleep more, laugh more, worry less, eat clean, exercise. You will get better. I was you joining this programs a few months back, and now even my husband can tell how good this has been for me. Hashtag my sexy lady balls are happy. I don't know about you guys, how you guys feel about that testimonial, but to me, it gives me goosebumps every single time I read it because of the fact that I really honestly feel that there is hope. I know because I see it. These conditions, although, all have a correlation with a leaky gut. And researchers are now speculating that endometriosis and adenomyosis specifically may be an autoimmune disease, or at least have a connection with it. So here's a couple of things that I want to be able to just flag to you, okay? Probiotics, Natron Healthy Start System. Inflammation begins in the gut, and I'm a huge fan of probiotics. No matter who you are, where you are in your life, hormone issues or not, you need to be taking probiotics. Probiotics actually help you assimilate nutrients from food. And because inflammation begins in the gut, probiotic can also relieve that intestinal inflammation. It reduces the permeability of a damaged gut lining. Okay? Directions: take 1 capsule from each bottle at breakfast. So why do I say this? Why do I say probiotics? Because if those junctions of the small intestine are open, you're going to have a lot of things going in to the bloodstream that could be creating an autoimmune condition. A leaky gut is always a part of the hormonal profile. Always, always, always. That's a big thing. Bone broth. And if you are vegan, this won't be for you. If you are not vegan, I would suggest this. But it contains glycine, a protein that helps to produce stomach acid to break down food. It's rich in L-glutamine, which helps to repair the intestinal lining. Important, when people don't realize that you actually have to boil the bones first for 20 minutes to remove any impurities that could make the bone broth taste bad. And also, when you boil the bones first, this bubbling will kind of come up to the top. And when it does, those impurities essentially can irritate the gut. So really, really, really important to do that. So, I mentioned this, in my program, Sexy Lady Balls. I have everyone who are meat eaters to vegetarians to vegans. There is a place for everyone. So I just want to sort of say that right off the bat. And with probiotics, there's always like this concern of like, do I take it with food or without food? There's a lot of debate on that, and you might have been told differently, but the reality is, as I always suggest to take it with food because by nature, probiotics were actually originally found in food. So that is my train of thought. You also want to roast these bones, just a little side note, for 30 minutes at 350 and boil it with onions and garlic for at least 24 hours. I like to roast it because it imparts a really nice flavor. So make sure that you take a picture of this. Write this down if you can, and I think that would be great. I've got Sylvia who says, endometriosis, I hate her. You don't have to. Understand this. Versus cursing your body, and these things that you are going through, endo, PCOS, ovarian cyst, whatever it is, understand this. It's super important. It is your medicine. It's your medicine. It's there to teach you, and it's there for you to learn from it. That might sound totally crazy, but it's true. All right, gargling. Believe it or not, this actually helps to stimulate the vagus nerve that puts us into a parasympathetic state, which essentially is our rest and digest state, which then contributes to a leaky gut. So believe it or not, gargling can actually help to put you in a rest and digest state. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. But the second you do and you stimulate that vagus nerve, you are actually helping to heal a leaky gut. It helps to, it's one of the things, it's not the only thing, but it actually helps that. Christina asks, so boil, roast, and boil again? Yes, that is true. Okay, liver support is absolutely crucial for all estrogen-related conditions. So bitters, and we're going to talk about two different ones because one's you can get in Canada and one you can get abroad. But essentially it helps to increase digestive fire and bile flow to carry out excess estrogens and hormones, okay? It helps the liver to metabolize fats. And the other thing is, it's not to be confused with Swedish bitters. And I have to be super clear about that because people don't realize that Swedish bitters, you should not take them. It has senna in it, which is a very strong and powerful laxative, okay? So don't take senna, or Swedish bitters, I should say. Directions: take half a teaspoon at breakfast and dinner slowly and build up to 1 tablespoon. So St. Francis Herb Farm, love the company, phenomenal company here in Canada. Get their Hepato DR. It is a bitters tincture. It's just fortified with that milk thistle in there. On the right of it, there's the Urban Moonshine bitter. So if you're in the States or abroad, that's what I would suggest for you to get. Endo pain gone? Say what? All right, so check out Kyla, what she had to say. You guys, my endo pain is gone. For the first time, I am not in pain. I can't believe it. Today, my period started, and for the first time, I felt nothing. It was amazing. It's a beautiful thing when you can love your period again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Melissa Ramos, for your program. I joined 6 months ago, desperately needing to balance my hormones, having never tried anything before. With Mama B, which is what they call me, and our resident nutritionist, along with the support of this group, incredible women, I proudly can say I have. It's still only the beginning of a lifelong journey, but I'm so grateful that the suffering has ended. So all of you ladies that are listening in right now that have endo, please know there is hope. Out of whack periods are due to elevated levels of progesterone and low levels of progesterone. So elevated levels of estrogen and low levels of progesterone, I should say. So one of the things that can help, studies have shown that turmeric helps to raise progesterone levels, and it actually decreases inflammation. The only thing I would suggest to you is always make sure that you add in a fat like coconut oil, because it helps to increase the bioavailability of curcumin, which is turmeric's anti-inflammatory mojo. It's the active component in it. And also make sure that you always add in some pepper to it as well. And here is a wonderful, healing, anti-inflammatory golden milk. I've got Chelsea going, golden milk. Yes, golden milk, Chelsea. And so I want you guys, again, take out your phones, take a picture of this. If you can't do nut milk because you're allergic, you can always do hemp milk. Hemp milk is great. You can do, so hemp milk, just don't do soy. Don't do rice milk. So soy is something you really want to avoid if you've got estrogen-related conditions. I have just, it's heavily processed. If you're doing, something that is, if you're having PCOS, et cetera, and you're even having like fermented types of soy, I still would suggest to stay away from it if you are struggling with any estrogen-related conditions that I have mentioned, okay? If you don't like stevia, don't sweat it. You can also just use honey. That simple. So make sure you have it. I've got a lot of people here who are just saying how much they love golden milk. I'm right there with you. All right. But what about increasing the chances of conception? Infertility is a symptom, ladies. It's not the cause. Infertility is a symptom, not the cause. So check out what Carolina had to say. Is getting pregnant possible? Absolutely. Lovely ladies, I want to share with you the amazing news that I am pregnant. My husband and I have been trying to conceive a baby for over 2 years. I still can't believe it. I was diagnosed with PCOS, but followed Melissa's instructions to the T. So in Sexy Lady Balls, women receive a base supplement protocol, okay? And what I have are these add-on supplements that you can essentially add on for yourself based on your symptoms. And I think that that's a really powerful way and an empowering way for you guys to really take your health in your own hands. There's a second option though. So for example, if this evening or today, you were like, you know what, I really, really, really want to be able to join Sexy Lady Balls. I'm going to go through this process. You're going to go, you're going to purchase it. You're going to get the option to upgrade, and you're going to be able to fill out an assessment to gather more details, for me to gather more details. And then I analyze your assessment, and then you're emailed an individualized protocol. So this is your first step to really further individualize your stuff. So the first one is supplement, protocol, base supplement protocol that everyone gets. You have these like a chart where you can add on some things yourself. But if you're like, I want to get a little bit more, individualized support, this would be the next option. And then the third option is a full hormonal panel. And these are actually available as the next upgrade, okay? And they're an upgrade for all ballers. And I can actually ship this out worldwide. I've shipped it out as far as Dubai. So if you're wondering, I don't know, I'm kind of like a little far, don't sweat it, because I definitely can ship out to you, okay? So just know that if you are interested at all and you're like, Melissa, today I really want to be able to join, just remember that these are the 2 upgrades and they're incredibly powerful. So what does the hormone panel actually test for? It's done by urine, and it tests all your estrogens. Believe it or not, you have 3. And then they've got their metabolites, which I call estrogen's children. Then afterwards, it would test your progesterone metabolism. It also would test all your male hormones, testosterone, DHEA, and their metabolites. So if you're somebody who's like, I got really high testosterone, we have to see the whole picture. If you're like, I don't know what's going on with me, Melissa, because I have irregular periods, I haven't got my period in a while, or, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted. You might even have super low testosterone. I just saw that profile today. So this is really, really, really huge. Okay. The other thing is cortisol levels throughout the day. Now you might be like, why is this different than blood? So blood, essentially, if you went to your medical doctor, like, could you get this from your doctor? Well, no. So you could get a blood test from your medical doctor, and blood doesn't lie. But the problem is blood tests only take tests from that one part of the day, versus the urine test would be from 5 points of the day at a specific time of your cycle. If you're not getting your period anymore, or you don't have a period at all, you can take it at any point of your cycle. So I suggest every single woman at some point in their life needs to take a hormone panel. It is one of the best things I ever did in my life, because I got such a clear picture of what was going on. And truthfully, you don't have to do any previous tests prior, although, if you do have any within the last 6 months, is always helpful. And forgot to mention, it also measures melatonin. Really interesting facts about melatonin. If you actually have very low levels of melatonin, it's one of the actual key things I have seen in women who've got breast cancer. They all had very low melatonin status. If you've got a high melatonin status in the hundreds, which is still outside the range, that would mean that there's a lot of gut dysbiosis, which means that there's a lot of digestive issues that are happening from a bacterial standpoint in your gut. So all those things are things that I would look at and really, really, really understand what is going on with this whole picture. And Stacey, it doesn't have to be scary not to get your period anymore, because there is hope to get it back. So did you know, as I mentioned to you, the melatonin deficiency in endometrial cancer? So I mentioned breast cancer, but there's also a tie with endometrial cancer. Pretty phenomenal. So let's dive in right now to hot flashes, irregular periods, low libido, vaginal dryness, and hysterectomies. Solutions for perimenopause and menopause. Because I know I have women who are listening and going, when are you going to talk about me? Here it is. So after the age of 35, hello, that's me, your essence in Chinese medicine actually begins to decline. What does that mean? Well, in Western medicine, we see this as a decline of progesterone. Other symptoms include thinning hair, an increased stubborn weight gain, and did you know 1 in 3 women in the United States will reach the age of 65 without a uterus? 1 in 3 women. That's insane. Is anyone else shocked about that? All right. The reality is that perimenopause is all about hormonal surges. It's all about hormonal surges. One moment you get your period and it stays for like a week. And then it goes away for 2 weeks and then it comes back and it might stay for 3 weeks. Like, it's all about hormonal surges, and it's can be challenging for women. You still have enough estrogen just to make a thin lining in your uterus, but your breasts soon become lumpier and your mind less agile. Without estrogen, remember I told you there's 3 different kinds? So not all of them are bad. In fact, you need estrogen, but in a certain amount, because without it, we can't control our body temperature, sleep, and we have no protection for our heart. Testosterone levels actually end up falling significantly in menopause. Why does this matter? Because so does bone mass. You need testosterone to make bone. When estrogen is surging higher with no progesterone, this turns on a power cellular growth controller called epidermal growth factor. This is a major player in breast cancer. Okay, big time. And in answer to your question, Venice, yes, women under 35 can have estrogen surges. I've seen women even in as young as 19, 18, 17 years old who had a lot of estrogen and not enough progesterone. So yes, absolutely. And adrenal support is a commonly overlooked area for women in perimenopause and menopause, but you need adrenal support as your ovaries begin to slowly start to cease function. Your adrenals start to take up more slack. Okay? And that's when the hot flashes get worse. Even when you're in menopause, post-menopause, your adrenals need a load of love. Adrenal support. So I've got 2 products here, because I always mention these 2 products for Canadians and people abroad. But adrenal support varies dramatically. But ashwagandha is perfect for this phase in life because it increases testosterone levels. Okay, so if you have PCOS, you don't want to be taking ashwagandha, just a side note, okay? It reduces cortisol, that stress hormone. It also reduces blood sugar levels. So your blood sugar is all out of whack. It also helps with that. So directions, you want to take a half a teaspoon or 2 caps in between lunch and dinner away from food. So just a rule of thumb, guys, a side thing, is that when you end up having, herbs, you always want to make sure that you take it away from food, not with food. Okay? A study in Fertility and Sterility Journal showed that 750 milligrams of vitamin C taken over 6 months actually helped to increase progesterone levels. Okay? Vitamin C is also the stress-busting vitamin and is supposed to be the most abundant in the adrenals. So I'm telling you about some really amazing, safe ways to get some adrenal love. However, 80% of vitamin C is eliminated through bowel movements. 80%! So take liposomal vitamin C instead. The girls in my Sexy Lady Balls program will know how much I love liposomal vitamin C because it's just absorbed so well. 1 sachet equals 1,000 milligrams. Now you might be like, well, what about, whole food vitamin C? It doesn't compare with this. What about buffered vitamin C? Doesn't compare with this. If you get the Myers cocktail, which is the vitamin C intravenously, this is almost to the same degree of absorption in the body, to give you a concept, okay? Evening Primrose helps to support progesterone levels. So simply take 2 1,000 milligram capsules once daily with breakfast and with dinner. The only thing I would say about Evening Primrose oil is if you're somebody who is looking to have a baby, you should only be taking it from day 1 to day 14 of your cycle. But if you are in the phase of perimenopause and menopause, I would suggest taking 2 1,000 milligram capsules once daily with breakfast and with dinner. Okay? And I know there's a ton of questions as well, and I am going to get them to them at the end, so hang tight. Okay. Hot flashes. Sage is a powerful phytoestrogen that addresses hot flashes that are also due to low levels of estrogen. So if you're suffering with hot flashes, this can be your answer. Also safe for hot flashes due to Lupron, which stops estrogen production. So a lot of women come to me who've got fibroids and they're bleeding incredibly heavy, and quite often they'll be given something like Lupron, which artificially puts them into menopause. And when they get into that sort of phase, they start to get the same symptoms, the hot flashes, etc. And this would actually be safe to take during that time when you are taking Lupron. So just a side note. Directions: take half a teaspoon first thing in the morning away from food. Check out what Laura Lynn had to say. Before seeing Melissa, I was walking out of meetings because my hot flashes were running my life. I had 10 pounds of added weight and I just didn't recognize myself anymore. Plus, she worked with my vegetarian lifestyle and helped me get back my life back. And now I'm actually excited about this next phase in my life. We shouldn't get all tied up in ageism. It doesn't mean that when we hear that, even that term, you old bag, do you know that that actually means you old uterus? These are things that we shouldn't be associating ourselves with. We're not an old uterus. We are a more empowered, more phenomenal woman that we all have the chance to be as we go through these different cycles of our life. What about vaginal dryness? This is a really big and embarrassing problem for a lot of women, to the point that they're having painful sex and having fissures. So relief for vaginal dryness can be due to lowered levels of estrogen. Okay? The other thing is, other root causes to rule out are antihistamines. Do you know that antihistamines are actually the number one reason, the number one side effect to antihistamines is vaginal dryness? It is the number one issue for women who have vaginal dryness. The first question I ask them are you on any antihistamines? Because they just dry things right up. The other thing is Ativan, Xanax, other sort of things you have to watch out for smoking or excess alcohol or coffee, birth control or Depo-Provera. So directions: you want to insert either a vitamin E suppository, or you can even just get a 400 IU of vitamin E gel cap, just wet it a little bit and then insert it vaginally. Okay. Amanda says, yes, that used to kill me in my early 20s. Yes, antihistamines are a big side effect of it is vaginal dryness. Fatigue, insomnia, stubborn weight gain, how to get your power back from adrenal fatigue and thyroid issues. So the first thing I want to tell you about is Himalayan salt brine, also known as Soleil. So think of Olay. Add 2 chunks to a large mason jar of water. Let sit overnight to make the salt brine. It might take a couple of days, but you're going to add in about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon in some water. I would even add a little bit less to begin. You can add in about 1/4 of a teaspoon. Your water should taste mildly salty. So that's something that I would generally suggest to people. And I've seen women just say, oh my God, Melissa, I'm going to the bathroom less. I'm drinking all this water, but it's because your body's actually hydrated. You're actually retaining it. And those minerals really do help with your adrenals. Mushroom hot cocoa. I love this company. They are called Four Sigmatic Foods. So Four Sigmatic Foods. They make these amazing mushroom coffees. They have a reishi mushroom tonic. It's great for the adrenals as an adaptogen, an immune modulator also if you've got Hashimoto's. Okay? So really safe for both. Reishi mushroom is kind of like the queen of mushrooms, and chaga, say for example, would be the king. But reishi is incredibly safe for the adrenals as an adaptogen, helping you adapt to stress, and great for Hashimoto's. Kelp. Iodine supplementations are not pure iodine. So kelp contains natural iodine plus fiber to aid in the digestion of it. Also safe for those with hyperthyroid as well as hypo. 1 capsule with breakfast daily. You do not want to be taking this, ladies, if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding. So it's just a side note, okay? So what was that number one area that's often overlooked by women and other practitioners when it comes to hormonal healing? Addressing a change in mindset. I know. You're rolling your eyes right now going, yeah, Melissa, I know. Hear me out, okay? I have never seen one case that actually worked when mindset wasn't addressed, ever. Otherwise, how do you expect to stay on the bandwagon and stop self-sabotaging yourself? How? If your mindset is poor, how do you expect your stress levels to be managed so that you don't stress eat, that your hormones don't go out of whack, that you can sleep well, that you can have a libido? How? Mindset is crucial. Not convinced? Check this out. A study coming out of the Ohio State University showed that participants who reported one or more stressors during the past day burned 104 fewer calories than non-stressed women over the course of the day. The stressed women also had higher levels of insulin and lower rates of burning fat, suggesting they were storing more fat. So if you're like, it's all baloney, it's not. I mean, let's face it. Do you really eat a salad when you're stressed? The first step to taking your power back is to understand where you are actually giving it away and being accountable. Really important. Then set boundaries to allow for more space and ask for help. Period. You know what I'm talking about. Are you asking for help? Really? So, happiness, ladies, is a byproduct of certain behaviors. It is not Australia. It is not a destination. Okay? So when I get this, I will be happy. When I have that man, I will be happy. When I have that job, I will be happy. When I get rid of my PCOS, I will be finally happy. When I get rid of this endo, I'll finally be happy. I will finally be happy. When I lose all that weight, I will be happy. You know what happens? Then people get it and they're like, I thought I would be happier. And then they all of a sudden create another goal. And it's this endless cycle of trying to chase this dragon and you can never chase it. And that's the reason why happiness is a byproduct of certain behaviors. And whether it is the money, whether it is your job, whether it is your family, these are all really crucial things I help women work on. Because I can't just do the supplements, the food, the movement, which is part of the program, without doing the mindset. It's all together. It's a learned skill, though, so it doesn't happen overnight. And it requires the right tools to establish mindfulness, perspective, and continual practice. It's why I feel that women are still struggling with their hormonal issues and when they're on a truckload of supplements because their mindset and lifestyle factors have not been addressed. And then they come to me and go, what do I do with all these supplements? I don't know when to take what. I'm taking all these things. This person told me to take this. Why am I not getting better? This is a part of it. Chronically elevated stress hormones can compete with your sex hormones, namely progesterone. So check out Maria and her emotional weight connection. She says, after my second daughter, Bella, I couldn't shed the weight no matter what I did. Soon after, I became depressed. I felt alone and my relationships suffered. After working with Melissa privately, I felt that she had my back. Sure, I've worked with NDs and other nutritionists and lost weight before, but I just gained it back. But Melissa was the first person who made me dig to the root of it. I was able to heal a part of myself where I finally rediscovered who I was and was thus able to lose the weight. Putting myself first has been a game changer. Really challenging for women. True mindset work is about harnessing the right tools so that we can implement the practice of embodiment. Okay? By being vulnerable and holding ourselves accountable for our own bullshit story, we can move past our victim state mentality and lead more fulfilling lives with deeper relationships. Remember, what you focus in on expands. If you are really ready about this, you need to understand mindset's a part of it. You can't do it, you can't fix this unless the mindset's on par. You got to be ready to face and do some shadow work and look at it and go, I need to be accountable. Where am I accountable for this? And that goes for every aspect, even work. How are you feeling right now? Are you ready to kick some hormonal butt? Let me know right now. I know that this has been quite a lot of info. So are you ready to kick some butt? If you are, I want to hear some energy. Shake out your arms. Do whatever you got to do. Stand up. Let me know right now, are you ready to kick some hormonal butt? I want to get some enthusiasm right now because I am so pumped about this. Welcome to Sexy Lady Balls. This is literally my heart and my soul. Caitlin's like, oh my God, I'm so ready. We're just, it's firing up. I can't even read this. I can't keep up. I'm just going to say a bunch of people are saying yes and heck yeah because I can't keep up. But welcome to Sexy Lady Balls. This is my baby. I'm actually writing a book based on this. And I love this membership so much. If you join today, here is what you will receive. And there will be specials only for you. And remember that bonus that everyone's going to get, but you got to stay till the end type thing. You got to stay till the end. So if you leave before I get through all this, you're not going to get the bonus. Okay? The free bonus everyone gets for staying on my masterclass. So hang on. Hang tight. One topic specific coaching call per month. I love this. Talk about things like improving your fertility. Another idea could be getting rid of hormonal weight gain, thyroid issues, including Hashimoto's, overcoming insulin resistance and PCOS, perimenopause and menopause, diving deep into treatment plans, even things like natural and safe alternatives to birth control, tackling endometriosis, adenomyosis, fibroids, and so much more. I talk about really incredible topics every single month, and those are an example of the types of topics I would speak about. And replays are always made available for those who can't attend. So just understand that. This alone is $197 value. Okay. I'm saying this is the value of it. Okay. You also would receive, as a part of being a member, is 4 monthly one hour Q&A coaching calls to answer all of your questions that may come up and provide additional resources. Because I know you're going to have questions, and I want to be there to support you through this process as much as I can. Okay? That alone right there is an $800 value. Okay? Because I do this, 4 times a month. I charge $200 an hour for my time. Now, I'm not giving you the actual prices of this membership right now. So just know that these are just value prices. So just hold your horses. Plus, receive coaching call recap notes with recommendations for any additional nutrition supplements or lifestyle tools that you may need. You're also going to get a personal shopping list, a therapy protocol, a customized meal plan as well, and recipes. I freaking love recipes. I love food. Are you kidding me? And remember, I was telling you guys that I work with everyone from whether they are vegan or vegetarian. We've got things from matcha chocolate truffles. We've got an amazing chicken dish. All these dishes are very simple to make. We've got a green bean casserole. This is vegan, just so you guys know. And yes, there are recipes for meat eaters, vegetarians, and vegans. And plus, you're going to receive bonus recipe weeklies. So bonus recipes in your weekly Sexy Lady Ball digest, email, and loads of updates. So every single Monday, you would get this Sexy Lady Balls digest in your inbox, and you get a free recipe every single week. Okay? Pretty damn cool. You also get to tackle those hormone issues with my base supplement protocol. Remember I spoke about that? Plus those add-on supplement formula to customize your plan based on your symptoms. So just letting you know that that also is a part of this. That whole kit and caboodle is a $427 value. I also want you to get inspired by 2 cooking tutorial videos. These are pre-recorded, and this takes you through some of the recipes in your Sexy Lady Balls book. But remember, what I've also done is also included 1 live cooking class for Sexy Lady Balls every single month. And we end up playing this out in the private group. So you don't only just get these 2 cooking video tutorials, but you also get a live cooking class every single month, which is so amazing. That alone is a $97 value for just those 2 tutorials. And then you add on the fact that you're also getting that live cooking class. That's even more value. We're pushing this right over to close to $200 for sure. Participate in monthly challenges led by yours truly with additional coaching calls. As a baller, you can be awarded prizes worth up to $100 a month. Pretty sweet. $297 value right there because you get so much engagement from those challenges. We've had things like nature challenges. We've had an intimacy challenge. We've had a movement challenge. We've had a play challenge. We've had a give back challenge. We've done so many different challenges that they're a lot of fun, and it's really fun to facilitate them. Also, I give you recommended fitness resources so you can move and shake your body to a healthier, hotter version of you. And I'm not telling you, I'm just going to tell you to do it, because I also even post my own workouts that I do in the morning. I'll post like, hey, I am accountable. If I'm doing this, you got to be doing this as well. So I'm in there with you every step of the way. Also, remember those expert interviews I was telling you about? We got loads of them, okay? We got some that are pre-recorded, and then we also have some that are live that come in every single month. And I'm telling you, these people are a wealth of info. Everyone from the Red 10 Sisters, Elizabeth Zialta from Wild Soul Movement, also the author of Untamed Yourself, Amy Jo Goddard, who wrote A Woman on Fire, Dr. Andrea Campitelli, naturopathic doctor. We've got Kate Mare O'Brien, and even Alexi Panos and Preston Smiles. Phenomenal lineup, guys. I'm telling you, this alone is so good. Also, I want you to de-stress with 3 Yoga Nidra recordings that have been proven to be more relaxing than sleep itself. Okay? Really incredible. And believe it or not, this is $197 value because you get 3 recordings. But Yoga Nidra, you don't have to do anything but lay there and listen to something. So if you really struggle with meditation, you lay down, listen to these recordings, and I'm telling you, especially if you are a new mama and you cannot sleep, or you're a woman going through perimenopause or menopause and your sleep sucks, this is a way that you can catch up. Sleep is more relaxing than sleep itself. This has actually been used in the Walter Reed Army facility for soldiers who actually have PTSD. So incredibly valuable. You also get access to the Sexy Lady Balls private group to receive support and motivation from a tribe of ballers. And access to myself, who will be holding you accountable, and meet our resident nutritionist who facilitates the group to receive additional advice. And you're going to be matched with your very own accountability partner. That's right. So everybody gets matched with a partner. And there have been really strong friendships that have been formed that I think have been absolutely beautiful. The value of that, priceless. All right, so how much, right? Recap: weekly Q&A coaching calls, monthly topic-specific coaching calls, live expert interviews with replays provided, supplement and food plan, recipe book worth over 100 recipes, your weekly Sexy Lady Balls digest filled with bonus weekly recipes, shopping list to make shopping a breeze, accountability partner matchup, fitness recommendations provided, cooking video tutorial with transcript notes, plus the live cooking class per month. I'm telling you that because I'm just so damn stoked about it. Monthly challenges and additional coaching and monthly prizes, Yoga Nidra recordings. Holy crap, that's a lot. Total value right there is pretty much almost $3,000. Okay, almost $3,000. And it's worth every single damn penny. I will tell you that right now. But I'm not going to charge you even $800. I'm also not going to charge you even $700 or even $600 or even $500 or even $400. Right now, and on this masterclass, you're going to receive Sexy Lady Balls membership for $57 a month. That is a very, very small amount for so much value. I have to tell you that women that I work with, I need you to be serious. And because I need you to be serious, you got to be in this for 3 months. And the reason why is because if you think your hormones are going to change in a month or 2, you're kidding yourself. Unless I am God, that is not going to happen. So I need you to really put in the effort and put in both feet. So 3 months at $57 a month, start there. But wait, I'm going to throw in a bonus worth $400 for free, but only if you join today. So following this masterclass, this will not be available. You're going to get 4 of my weightless mindset coaching recordings. Okay. The first one's going to be how to let go and get over it. I'm sure you've heard of that before, that phrase. Overcoming addictions and their associations to weight gain. Staying on the bandwagon and getting empowered for sustainable weight loss. Also, the last one is improving relationships and losing the emotional and physical weight. These are actually really incredible mindset coaching recordings. And this is only going to be offered today. It's a $400 value, but free only when you get Sexy Lady Balls today. So you get that $3,000 value, the $400 bonus. That's like a $3,400 total value, guys. You can get empowered now for only $57 a month. So what are you waiting for? Truthfully, what are you waiting for? Got questions? Well, I've got answers. All right, guys, time to answer your questions. Please make sure that this comes back on again. Okay, so I'm currently on the Liver and Candida Detox. Will you start this program later on in the autumn? Well, I'm telling you right now, if you were doing the Liver and Candida Detox, the best thing about the Sexy Lady Balls is you're getting additional support. So that's a really amazing addition that you're receiving. I want to make sure that I answered a question that I saw pop in that I thought was a really great question. And the question was about melasma. A lot of people, sorry, let me put that little offer up here. Give me 1 second here. You're like, how do we sign up, Melissa? Well, let me do that right now. All right, so I'm going to load this on in 1 second here. Display offer. There we go. So that offer is now posted. We got a 15-minute countdown, and I'm going to be answering questions right now, starting with the question about melasma, because I get that question often. A lot of women don't know why they get it. So I want to make sure that I answered that question. So the offer is posted there. Also, remember, before I forget, remember we talked about the base supplement protocol for Sexy Lady Balls, and then you get those options to be able to add on to it. Well, when you get Sexy Lady Balls, if you decide that you want to upgrade, remember there are 2 options to upgrade. The first one is the assessment form, which is $97 as an upgrade. Okay, so you can get that. And that's amazing because I would essentially get the answers. I can end up looking at your answers and going, okay, this is what I feel that we should do. And then the next option, which is the hormone panel. And I've already explained to you what comes with that, what it tests, and that's the third option. So just letting you know that those are things that you guys can do as upgrades. So melasma, let's start with that. So melasma is actually an estrogen-related condition, believe it or not. It means it really has ties with poor liver clearance and higher levels of estrogen. So when I've actually worked with women who've had it, quite often they get it either after pregnancy, they get it around perimenopause, and they're like, I don't know why I'm getting this either. So yes, it is $57 a month. I don't know if there's confusion around you, but yes, it's around $57 a month, just to let you know. Okay. Are there recipes Candida-free friendly? There are some that definitely are, but Candida protocols are something that we definitely can work on with you. But yes, with the actual types of recipes that are in there are going to be some that you're going to want to stay away from because it's not a Candida program, but there are going to be some recipes that are going to be fantastic for you, for Candida and totally friendly. Absolutely. Okay. I have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism and PCOS, and as well as vitamin D deficiency. I'm on 5 different medications daily and I have trouble losing weight as well as having no energy. Is this something I would benefit from? Absolutely. I would suggest though in that scenario that you should definitely upgrade, whether that is with the assessment form or whether that is also with the hormone test as well. A lot of people are asking that. It is in US funds. As I mentioned to you guys, I am an online entrepreneur. It is a universal currency in the business. And I travel a lot. So if I'm living in Italy, for example, or if I'm living abroad, you're not going to be charging in euros, for example, you're going to be charging in US funds. Okay. Have you seen women with large fibroids, like 12 centimeter cantaloupe size, shrink them by balancing their hormones and desperately trying to avoid surgery? Okay, so I've seen women with fibroids as probably large as 8 or 9 centimeters. I definitely have seen women shrink their fibroids. And there are options. Surgery is not always the only option, for sure. But I do feel that I've seen a lot of women with it. Sometimes hysterectomies are the only answer, but there are a lot of things that we can do to try to help to avoid that. And there are a lot of things and resources that I can provide that can help. And even if you do go through a hysterectomy, there's a lot of things that you can do even post-hysterectomy that can help as well. Is there somewhere I can find links to all the supplements you recommended? Not on this call right now. Okay. I'm sorry, but did you address the melasma question? Yes, I did. I was just mentioning that it is an estrogen-related condition. So I would strongly suggest that that's something that is very much hormonally based, liver congestion and all. So just want to sort of let you know. So offer is correct right now is what Team SFT says. So if there was any glitch in that, please check that again. Does my program address hair loss? Yes. The fact of the matter is that we have to understand, why is it that you're losing hair to begin with? Is it stress? Is it excess testosterone? Is it, a fact of progesterone deficiency? There's so many reasons why that could actually be happening. Do I offer the hormone panel by itself? No, because it always involves a consult. You can't just give someone a hormone panel and then just be like, okay, you're off to the races. Can periods stop due to emotions, acne, start, etc.? I'm not entirely sure I understand the question. Can it stop due to emotions? Yes, it can definitely get all wonky because of stress. Absolutely. Do I address hair growth? Yes. If that is a topic that is super important to you, then we can always do a topic-specific monthly call on that. Or if that's the topic that you really wanted to. One of the things I will tell you is I always, always, always over deliver. So I'm just going to do a quick check-in with our offer right now. We've got 11 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock right now, guys. That offer is up on there for your taking. But just understand that if you're sitting on the fence and you're like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. What is your alternative right now? Do you want to continue going and just doing what you're doing? You clearly showed up for a reason. And for all the value that is provided there, what do you got to lose? It is a small fraction of an investment when you look at the amount of support that you receive for what you actually end up getting from it. How to join the program with this offer. The offer is up on the screen. If Team SFT can help, Anna, that would be great, but the offer is there. So it is up. You should be seeing it. The offer is going to be ending in about 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So it is up there. Okay. With the consult, how much would the hormone panel cost? So just go through the entire process and you will see. It's just, I don't want to spend too much time explaining everything about the hormone panel right now and costs associated. I want to make sure that I answer a little bit more questions that were coming up during the masterclass. So make sure that you check that out. And if it isn't something that you want to do, then that's fine, but it is something that I definitely suggest. Okay. All right. So it seems like a good value, but I'm a bit cash strapped. Is there a micro program at a lower cost? No, I mean, I don't even know what else I would give at a lower cost without completely, undervaluing what I do, realistically. The amount that you are given is so incredible that this is truthfully what I feel is what's needed to help women balance their hormones. I give all of myself. I give all of myself and then some, and experts and the supplement protocol and the recipes and the bonus recipes every single week and the topic specific coaching call and the weekly. It's amazing. All right. My daughter is turning 13 next month. They are looking to start hormone therapy. She has a fatty liver disease in spite of an extremely healthy diet. She was diagnosed with celiac and lactose intolerant. She's 5'5" at 150 pounds. Christy, there is absolute hope. 1000%. The amount of people I have seen with a fatty liver disease, I can tell you right now, it is possible to reverse that. I can tell you that right now. But putting a child on a bunch of hormone therapy, synthetic hormones, it's a lot. So would strongly, strongly suggest Okay, so Leslie, or Lely, just so you understand, it's $57 a month. Okay, $57 to the a month. I'm just going to make sure that you guys know that it is $57. Just refresh your screen. If you are seeing a different number, just refresh your screen. It's completely fine. Okay, guys? All right. If you guys have, let me just double check on that. 8 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. If you're having any questions whatsoever, please make sure that you just refresh your screen. We'll still be here. I refuse the hormone therapy. Can she do this program? 1000%. You know, Christy, I actually had a woman whose daughter was as young as 18 years old who did this program. And both her and her mother did it. And I'm telling you right now, they were both in completely different places in their life. And the amount that they helped that they reaped from it was incredible. I'm in Europe, Holland. If I join the program, do you know the local market for the best supplements on the market? Yeah, I generally suggest, places like Amazon or iHerb, online resources like that are going to be your best bet to purchase. And that's what generally people do. And we've had people from all over the world do the program. Signed up, says Barb. That's awesome. Awesome. Enrolled. Can't wait, says Christy. I can't wait to actually get to know your daughter more and even get to know you a bit more, Christy. So amazing. So we've got definitely some ballers, new ballers on the call, which is amazing. We have just under 7 minutes left, guys. So please make sure that you get in on this, because I'll tell you this much right now. When I was struggling with hormonal issues, and you know my story with fibroids and PCOS and the ruptured cyst that tore a piece of my ovary and the blood and everything right now, I will tell you this right now. I wish I had this support. I wish I had this support. So if you guys are wondering about, about the price, I've got Team SFT just right there, putting the direct link. In case you're having any glitches whatsoever, just click on that link and she will help you out. All right. So there, the link is getting posted multiple times. If you're still struggling, just click on that link and it'll take you directly to the $57 a month. That is all you are getting charged right now, $57 a month, and you get this commitment literally for a minimum of 3 months. But I will tell you right now, we've got some OG ballers, original gangsters, that have been with us for a year. And not because they feel that, like, I'm not getting better, I got to stay in it for a year. They're staying in it for a year. Some of them is because they're like, I love the support. I've actually never had the support. People show up for the content, but they stay for the community, which is incredible. And you're welcome, Melissa, for all the information. It is my pleasure. I just want to double check our time so that we're just not running over. It is under 5 minutes and roughly 30 seconds left to go. Just so that you guys understand that. But I will tell you, I've seen women from as young as 18 years old in this program to in their mid-60s. So ballers go from all different kind of ages. I will tell you that much right now. And I will also say this, the amount of women that I have seen that have walked out of this completely different. Completely different. They're like, my husband doesn't even recognize me anymore. In a good way. I've lost weight. I feel better. I feel lighter. I went through this really stressful situation and I didn't flip out like I normally would. I actually responded, and that's huge. That if you can actually control and feel like you have some control over your life, that you don't feel out of whack constantly, is such a huge bonus. I have a fan from Venezuela. That's amazing. I found that today I lost 15 pounds in 12 days after starting a vegan diet because of you. I know what I should eat and can indulge in once in a while. Yes, and I want to be able to say this, that this program is definitely something where, we work on what you're eating, etc. But this isn't about like being perfect 100% of the time. I want you to do this as a lifestyle. I want you to be able to know exactly how you should be eating. Food is a base. Supplements are a complement. Movement is key. Mindset is so crucial. Do I believe in douching, Stacey? I don't believe in douching. I think that douching is not the best choice at all. However, there's only one time that I actually suggest the douching, which is when I actually, women have BV or yeast infections, but it's only for a piece of this like recipe that I have to help them actually get from that one part to the other. It's a whole process. It's a little recipe that I have that is really amazing for yeast infections and BV. And it's something I actually personally struggled with as well. Guys, we are getting really, 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 really close for me to be announcing what you're all going to be getting to stay because you stayed till the end. And we have literally about 3 minutes left. So I'm just letting you know right now that we are going to so close to saying goodbye to one another. And I really hope that you guys can get this, because after this masterclass right now, you're not going to be able to get that $400 bonus. And that's really huge. I am in, says Louise. That's awesome. High five. So great to have you. So please make sure that you get on this now. You will end up receiving the bonus, which I'll talk to you about in a second at the end. So I want to make sure that you know that. The replay of this will be made available tomorrow morning in case you're wondering about that. And the bonus gift, which I will be telling you about in a second, that will get sent out tomorrow morning, just so you know. Just joined, looking forward to getting in. Yes, awesome. Laylee, I think am I saying that right? Let me know. And Anna's in, signed up, says Tiffany. Oh, this is so great. Stacy's in. Anna, I'm really full of hope. I'm so full of hope too. Absolutely. How do we upgrade, and what is the price point for that? You upgrade when you actually purchase, you'll get to another screen. Okay. So when you purchase, you should have gotten to another screen that would have given you the option. Oh, I am saying it right. Thanks. Good. Laylee. Awesome. When you purchase, you will get to another screen that will show you the upgrade for either the assessment protocol or the hormone test. So one or the other. So you will be able to get that option. Done. Let's do this, says Katie. Debbie signed up. Oh, this is so great. Okay, let me double check. We are good. Just got my balls. Ha! My husband said to say that. Your husband has quite the sense of humor. Okay, 1 minute and literally 20 seconds left. Okay. Just signed up, says Shelly. That's awesome. Okay. So, I'm in. Yes. Thank you, Mama B, for sharing all the content. My God, my pleasure. And yes, if you guys are wondering, I am Mama B. That's what they call me, Mama Baller. You know, I absolutely love my tribe of ballers, my sisters, my girls. I love them. Okay. So, want to be a baller shot caller? 20 rims, I'm in. Oh my God, Petra, I'm going to adore you. I actually already do totally adore you. I totally want to be a baller shot caller, 20 rims, I'm in. That is like literally, someone buy the women a pony. Someone please buy Petra a pony. Because that is the best comment of the night. That just made literally my entire night. The song, you know it, Little Troy. I'm not doing it justice, clearly. Much more affordable than I thought it would be. Thanks for making your program accessible. I really do try to make my program and things that I offer accessible, very much so. All right. It is done. If you guys haven't squeaked in, please make sure you squeak in right now. As I say the last couple of things, all of you guys are going to, since you have just joined, you are going to be receiving a free copy of my blender soup recipes. I freaking love these. They're amazing. You can have them hot. You can even have some of them cold, like a gazpacho. So really, 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 really amazing little bonus gift guide. And the recipes are so freaking good. I've got lots of recipes. I've got recipes that I can bury myself in. So that is your gift for this evening. It's going to be coming to you tomorrow morning. And also, if you guys are wondering about a replay will be made available tomorrow morning as well, just in case you weren't able to maybe come in a little bit like later or something, or, you know, you had problems, just so you guys know that a replay will be made available. Okay, and soup throughout the year. It says my purchase failed. I re-entered my info a second time. Still says it wasn't taken, but I just looked on my bank account and it shows up. So Christy, all you have to do is, yes, it is, all the info is coming via email. So Christy, what I can probably do is I can make sure that Team SFT can write you back on this. Actually, I can just do this right now. Just end up writing to assistant@sexyfoodtherapy.com to Christy, just to verify that, but we will absolutely sort you out, no problem. Okay? All right, guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much. I've had a beautiful evening. I have just absolutely enjoyed this time with you, and thank you so, so much for your time, your open heart, your ear, everything. I love you. I feel you. I see you, and I really appreciate you coming this evening. Mwah. Mad love. Bye, guys.